It's as if I'm doing a TED Talk all over again. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. And so happy to see all of you guys, so many amazing coaches. I learned a lot about HR for a non-practitioner like me. It's totally eye-opening. But at this point in time, I'd like you first to take off your HR hats, your leadership hats, your coaching hats, whatever hat you're wearing right now, and just focus on, just being human, so to speak, okay? Let me start off with this question for you guys. What do you think, for you, is the most painful experience? Oh, no one experienced pain here. Don't be shy. Okay. Let me give you some ideas, okay? Painful? Everyone vaccinated? It wasn't really a fun experience, so to begin with, okay? Especially considering I had 4 shots, including booster, okay? So yeah, painful. What about this one? If you were, let's say, left behind, painful? I see some expressions changing, I hit the nerve, okay? Yes. This one. Now I know what's the most painful experience, okay? I hear you, okay. Yes, okay. So for each person, pain differs, right? And oftentimes, we detest pain or those kinds of experiences because they hurt, okay? And when they hurt, we totally push them away. I have yet to know a person who loves getting hurt, okay? There are many negative feelings that, pain brings you. So whether you feel sad about it, you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you feel anxious, all those things. And oftentimes, we blame it on pain. Am I right? It's the fault of that long needle. It's the fault of my bank account. It's the fault of whoever left me. However, here's the thing. Do we really understand why we hate pain or those experiences? Or do we just basically assume that it's okay to just, resist something that is making you feel uncomfortable? However, truth be told, resistance is futile. You cannot just resist pain. It would always be there. And most of the time, it's actually beyond your control. Can you actually control how painful your booster shot would be? Can you actually control, if someone intends to leave you or if you get critically ill? No, right? However, thinking about it right now, you're still resisting those thoughts. It can't happen to me. I cannot be this person. I won't allow it. But hey, it happened. So maybe, just maybe, what if you actually start just accepting the fact that there would be a silver lining in each pain that you're experiencing right now, instead of resisting it? What if you see it for what it is and look beyond the uncomfortable feeling and realize that maybe, just maybe, it's there for a reason? And those reasons are your life lessons. Oftentimes, we tend to stop ourselves from blooming whenever we experience pain. We just assume that, hey, I'm in pain, I would just stop, life stops immediately, and, I cannot go on. However, what if, using this mindset that I can actually coexist with pain, I would allow it to sit comfortably beside me? How different would your life be right now? So growing up, all of us have painful experiences. And I would like to take this opportunity to remind each one of you of those experiences that maybe molded you not only into the person that you are right now, but rather to the practitioner that you are. Because for all you know, you bring your pain to work, consciously or unconsciously, and those smiles are giveaways. Okay? So let's start off with this one. The death of a loved one. It changes you. It's something that's very permanent. I lost my brother at age 15. My stepdad passed on 9 months after, both in a vehicular accident. So you can imagine the pain there. It was as if I grew up without any male figure in my life. And that was life-changing. However, it would be very easy for some people to actually say that you'd get through it. It's part of life. But me, the 15-year-old self, honey, you're not in my situation. You would never know. Even if someone died in your family, it's still a different thing. Your relationship is different from my relationship. I saw it from those lenses until recently, when I actually began to, inquire within and realize what could be good about death. Is there something good about it? Maybe. It taught me about acceptance. Acceptance that no matter how hard I tried to bring the people back, I could not. I didn't have the magic, I didn't have the power. I only had their memories. It was also about maximizing each and every moment that you spend with your loved ones. Are you showing the person beside you as much appreciation as you want to? Are you giving yourself the same kind of appreciation, perhaps? It's also about your relationships. What kind of relationships do you keep right now? Are they healthy? Or are you taking them for granted? Then maybe it's time for you to check on that space. Because death is something that's beyond your control. And you would lose all these. First love never dies, but mine died 10 times over. Okay. Okay. So anyway, who never had a breakup? Okay. Good. Now you're being honest. And what did that breakup do to you? The person you're seeing in front of you right now, due to a breakup, lost 25 pounds in 3 months. By choice. Thank God for the breakup. Okay? But you get where I'm coming from. So, but before that happened, the person in front of you was also in a physically abusive relationship. The person in front of you was also in a verbally abusive relationship. The person in front of you was, just going with the flow, assuming that the person that he's with is actually the right one. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and it's correct. I'm probably the dumbest person when it comes to love. But then again, as mentioned earlier, it was all about self-love. At times, we tend to forget ourselves when we're in a relationship. We only want to give the best for the person, ourselves included, and so much more. Okay? But we owe it to ourselves. We have to look within and give ourselves the kind of love that we've always wanted, needed, and deserved before we can expect to receive it from someone else. Okay? So I see people nodding their heads, probably rethinking their relationships. So this may be your sign right now. Okay? What I'm saying to you guys right now is that a breakup teaches you to never just settle for the sake of. Okay, I had an interview this morning while during the plenary, and I was talking about relationships in a TV show in the Philippines. So I was outside broadcasting live while everyone was listening to the speakers there. So I told them that the first thing that you should do whenever there's a complicated relationship or there's a breakup is to actually think about yourself and think about, what do I really want in a relationship? It's not always about us. It has to be about you first, and then you bring in the other person. Because that other person, or whoever that person may be, is just a bonus. Please take note of that. A significant failure. I lost count of the number of times I failed. Okay? And I believe that one of the biggest failures I've had in my life was when I actually had my company, my previous company. I put up my own marketing and advertising company. I was a marketing practitioner before I actually became a full-time coach. And I went bankrupt because I trusted people so much. So I found myself at the lowest point in my life, and I could not even afford a value meal in a fast food during that time. However, it taught me a very big lesson because of that humbling experience. That I can still improve, actually. It's true that when you say that, when you find yourself at the lowest point in your life, there's no way but up. You don't have a choice. If I would be transparent about it, though, I had a choice back then. When I saw myself at the lowest point in my life, I almost killed myself. I had an option of whether to slash my wrist or to actually take medications and overdose myself. The person you're speaking and seeing right now is actually a person who has fought through that and just answered one important question. What if I try again? What would I do differently? I have nothing to lose. And so I did. I left my corporate marketing career and just focused on becoming a full-time coach. And here I am right now. This, okay? If I had the superpowers, I would have wanted to see how many people have stabbed me in the back. Okay, wouldn't that be nice? But then again, what I'm saying is that there would be times that the people you love the most, or you care for the most, or you never expected to, would actually be the ones who would betray you. Okay? And I am so quite sure, given my numerous corporate clients, that it happens so often in the offices. Okay? So what I'm saying right now is that you can never predict that or can stop that, so to speak. No matter how good you are, I always tell this when I give talks, no matter how good you are, no matter how nice you are, there would always be at least one person who would hate you. Just because he does. Okay? But once you experience discernment, instead of saying that cannot happen to me or that other person should not have done that to me or I don't deserve that, why not just focus on improving the way you actually qualify people in your life? How many people do you allow in your space? What are you giving them as access to you? There's nothing wrong with changing the price or what is required for people to gain access to you, because you are more important than anything else. And this discernment, it's all about feeling, is this person good for me? Am I getting value in the relationship? Am I valued? If not, then change the space you're in. When I went bankrupt and I decided to start all over again as a coach, I lost friends and clients in the process because people were telling me, you're crazy. Back then, more than 6 years ago in the Philippines, coaching was not yet a big thing. And they were telling me, what are you thinking? And were supposed to be my close clients and friends. And so I worked my way up. And while I was working my way up, I was actually helping myself heal by posting on Facebook. Back then, it wasn't on private mode yet. The lessons I've learned in my life every single day, and use the hashtag best me ever. I started off with best year ever, but when I reached the end of the year, I figured out it would be stupid to do a best year ever year 2. So I changed it to, when I figured out that maybe it wasn't about the year, it wasn't about, what happened to me, but it was about myself and how I actually handled everything. I used hashtag best me ever, and I got discovered by a publisher on Facebook. And 5 international best-selling books after, I'm now one of the celebrity life coaches in the Philippines, and I have a number of shows and 14 TED Talks. A record for everyone in the coaching industry, and I am the first openly gay celebrity life coach in the Philippines. So, there. What I'm saying right now is that space of changing the people I surround myself with, because immediately I found new friends. I found friends who would, accept me, friends who would support me thereafter. And in connection with that, the last one that can be a painful experience for you is to actually, when you outgrow people, right? Oh, he's my childhood friend, my childhood sweetheart, and everything like that. But you know what? It's okay. Because the important lesson there is that life goes on. You'd find people who would fit in your tribe. You'd find people who would make you feel appreciated, loved, wanted. And you would always feel that you have, the people that you need in your space. So right now, I'd like you to take this opportunity to just, perhaps reflect. What space are you in? What pains are you projecting? Maybe, just maybe, you have to accept them. But even before you do that, I want to tell you this, that whatever space you're in right now, it's okay. Whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, as mentioned, life goes on. And what's next for you is your own hashtag best me ever. My name is Mike Celis, and thank you for having me today. Here's my contact details. The name on the invitation is written Michael, but it's really Mike Celis. You can just Google my name or just click on my website. And thank you very much for having me. It was such a nice experience.